hopefully you never need this data. We had shin splints a long time. This data happened to fix it. No. So we're gonna do our best to show you the routine.
So the first step in fixing shin splints is going to be backwards and forward sledding with intent through the big toe. Okay, that's the key point on this. I'm not trying to go fast or super heavy. I'm trying to really work through pressing to that big toe all the way through and even lifting my toe when I finish the step to work the opposite side of the calf. So I'll get a little rhythm here. And this, if you have shin splints, or if you've ever had shin splints, you'll know you can't sprint, and you don't want to sprint more, and you don't want to go super heavy because it's going to hurt too much. So again, have intent on going slow, really working the bottom of the feet, and that's the first level to helping fix that. And same thing with going forward. Step through the heel all the way through the big toe, okay? All the way through the big toe. Again, we don't need to sprint and use more shock training plyometrics when we're already not being able to handle it. Okay, so that's step one.
And for each step, I'm showing you what I would do without any equipment. So we've always been lucky to, running a gym, we had sleds. This is what we do, but I understand that not every gym has sleds. I still think the principle is there, that backward through the toes, having that intention. Okay, walking backward, I think of as Mother Nature's rehab for walking forward. Well, if you've got shin splints jogging, you might be surprised at what building to jogging backward can do. So what if sprinting, and for us it was more like sprinting and jumping. Well, I think it still would have been valid to do the 200 yards gradually and then work but with that intention through the toe. So I'm really active in this position. I'm trying to increase my ability in this position so that the forces can't break me and cause that pain. So I still think backward 200 yards is valid with or without a sled. Plus you have the full 5 steps. I don't think of any one step in any program as impossible to work without. So we go right into the next step. They're all opportunities. These are 5 opportunities.
Yeah, not any single thing is magic or it's going to cure it instantly. It's about finding your weakest link and what maybe for you works. Okay, so this was what worked for us. So the next one here is the seated calf. We like to train this up to 25 reps. So again, we're not bouncing here. We don't need more bounce on the already sore shin splints. So we focus on the stretch. We get a pause at least a second or two, and then we get up and nice and controlled. Again, this is gonna work. Now we're going from the big toe, bottom of the foot, to bottom of the foot. Now the soleus muscle, which is this one right here. It's the strongest per pound muscle, excuse me, in the body. And it's very highly endurant, but very often undertrained and overused. So we have to continue to strengthen it. And the seated calf machine is one of my favorite. Now, if you don't have a machine.
Yeah, if you look at Fernando, I'm gonna make him keep going for a second. And you'll see, so he's so strong, the machine makes it so user-friendly for him to exhaust that area and signal to his body, I want to be stronger in that lower, deeper calf muscle. Well, that doesn't mean you can't get no results without any equipment. I've been training for most of the last 5 years without a seated calf machine, with anything to balance. You can get into a similar position. Try to have nothing above the knee move, like you're a statue above the knee and you're just doing a calf raise. Now, 25 you might feel here. For me, it took going until I could feel that pressure on the soleus and do 25 reps on one leg. So I am confident that I could play basketball the rest of my life, enjoy it, not break down in my shins or my knees with just my body's weight by mastering these positions. But take your time, go slow, and realize, no, this is not an absolute. I think this can work for a lot of goals. I'm gonna show you here until you can see it like practically shaking down there. But the machine, it still is advantageous. For sure. When I come in here and I'm at the gym, I use the machine. But I'm more grateful for this because I can master my body with nothing, with no equipment. So Fernando will now go to step 3, and then for that step, I'll again show you what to do without equipment.
Yeah, and I, when I'm traveling at a hotel, they don't have a seated calf machine in a hotel gym. If you want to go heavier or you are stronger, you can even load a dumbbell on the working side. So I've used that a lot myself when I travel. Now, third step is the tibialis machine or tibialis exercise here. So you're working the opposite side of your calf. This muscle is highly responsible in the system of braking. Okay, so when you cut
I'll give some demos here.
or absorbing.
So you're running on your toes, but now you go to jump or something, boom,
Boom.
or stop, it shifts the pressure. So you might be able to run a marathon. People have run marathons who had medical problems that they actually didn't have a tibialis muscle.
Wow.
So yes, you could probably run a marathon without even using your tibs. Now, if you're a runner, does that mean I think you should now skip this muscle? I don't think it's ever a good idea to say, here's the natural design of the body. Let's mess with that natural design. No, I think it's still good common sense to do a set of tibs, maybe on a program like this, 2 sets,
Right.
if you're trying to bring up a weak area. But yeah, that is the context. The context is the calves, you're on your toes, and now the pressure shifts to the heel, and it shifts to that tibialis. So for us, it's like, now when we think about it, we don't think in any fear or confusion. It's like, oh my gosh, shin splints, that's a formula. We've got it licked for life, easy peasy.
Yeah, we go up to 20 reps on that guy as well. And if you don't have a machine.
Yep, here I can strengthen it. This has a really wide range of ability. So at the lowest ability, you would stand closer and you would just lift one leg. So I'm not lifting much of my body's weight. And you could go back and forth, or you could do one side. Lifting both is a bit tougher. As you stand farther, it's even tougher. And I've had times where I'm like, I didn't have a machine, didn't have, Fernando can show you in the background here, a tib bar, and I would actually try, so before those tib bars were revived, because you couldn't buy those anywhere 4 years ago, it didn't exist anymore. I would work this one leg at a time. Did you ever try that, Fernando? Single leg tib?
Oh, single leg, whole body? No?
I'm just pointing out that now here's the difference. Watch Fernando working versus me. Boom. Look at the bottom position though. I can't get as much of a stretch as he can.
Yeah.
So I do think the tib bar is still your overall best bang for your buck. The first machine you saw Fernando on, this is realistically what it's gonna take for, I know NFL teams now buying up 10 of these for their athletes. So you sit down, it's user friendly. Like I need about 20 pounds each side and I can get a smoking workout, sit down, super easy. User friendliness in order to push the body to the limit.
It allows you to, and I always tell this to people, don't treat it as just like, oh, I'm just gonna do this for the sake of it. Have intent when you do this. Yeah. And the machines are gonna help you drive a little more intent in your training of small muscles like that.
So we've covered 3. Fernando's now gonna show you the 4th.
Yep. So 4th is the standing calf. We like to work up to 15 reps on this. So very simple, you can use any sort of ledge, and all you're simply doing is the first level is you can use assistance even, get a good stretch. You could actually go double leg.
Yep.
Okay, then you would go single leg. All right, and you make sure to get a good stretch on this. Okay, that's gonna activate the most muscle mass. And I haven't found the reason why not to go all the way up if you can. Now, if by the end of your set, you're just a little shy, that's fine. It's good quality reps. Keep going, have intent. Try to hit that failure if you're trying to grow that muscle and strengthen it.
Yeah, so the ATG viewpoint would be, which is better, a seated calf or a standing calf? Our viewpoint is like, we're not gonna waste time debating which is better. We're just gonna common sense train both.
Yeah.
Should you train calves or tibs? We're not gonna waste time debating that. We're gonna train both. So once you start realizing, oh, seated calf, standing calf, tib, you got we think of that as like the trio, the simple trio. However, when you're struggling, that sled can be really valuable. And even for us, no matter how advanced you get, you want to have some cardio in your routine. So it's interesting that the sled for us is almost like the opening rehab tool, yet it remains a cardio tool. I wanted to add a little bit of context before we finish the video
Yeah.
to show another side of shin splints, which is just the general adaptation to what you're doing. Fernando and I were trying to do sports. We can't be like, hey guys, can we all play in slow motion here? In a sport, you can't always do that. If you're a runner, a huge part of shin splints or not, it's just gonna be your own progressive overload of your running. So if you go from 0 to trying to run 100 miles, guarantee someone's gonna have all kinds of problems come up. So it's not just the exercises, it's also the adaptation to what you're doing. And the sled just allows us to be in athletic positions and actually progress to where you can be going harder. You can basically be putting running effort. Now, at extreme levels of shin pain, this might hurt to go fast, which is cool that you can take the same exercise and go slow and be working that ability. You could be going intentionally slow through your feet, but if you keep going, you'll actually see. You do your 200 yards on the sled, you'll be huffing and puffing at a time in your life, often with injuries. It's so hard to get that cardio, or it's just demoralizing, and you're sitting there on the exercise bike to get your cardio. Well, how cool, an exercise bike, totally fine for cardio, but your foot's like this. You're not getting ability like this. So that's why the sled is not just another tool in the ATG system. It's something that I'm gonna have to be talking about. If I live till 100, you can bet I'm still gonna be talking about the sled, because I do think gyms all need them. I do think it's the fundamental exercise tool. So I just wanted to give that context in the adaptation to your sporting activity. Take it slow and steady if you can, and also realize that a sled can mimic those athletic positions of sports and give you a one-stop rehab tool for those same athletic positions. Now, Fernando will show you the final exercise.
So the final one here, excuse me, is the Peterson step up. So the key to this, Charles Poliquin kind of made this, popularized this, called it the $1 million knee exercise, but we've actually found it to
And
be...
let's stop for a second.
Yeah.
Who's Peterson? Who's Poliquin?
Yeah.
You might not know that.
That's true.
This is important data. Charles Poliquin was an Olympic trainer, actually trained people of all walks of life, really at elite levels. He was a high-end elite. What did it cost? $18,000 to have a program from him.
Yeah.
We think he's a genius, trained over 200 Olympic medalists, so a lot of results there. And he would learn from the source. He would learn from the guy who invented this machine. He went to learn from him. He really believed in this, going to the source. And he saw Carl Peterson, a Canadian downhill ski physiotherapist, have incredible results. The downhill ski team for Canada, they had like 80% had knee surgeries, and then they started implementing this exercise that Fernando's doing, which is knees over toes, which is why I'm knees over toes guy, because understanding that completely changed my life, first fearing it, which is the overwhelming American education way, is no knees over toes, which is false. So correcting that, teaching it. Well, Peterson was one of these pioneers, and he used this exercise for his downhill ski guys. They ended up cleaning up gold medals and seeing there be no more knee surgeries for the team. So Charles Poliquin went to Peterson, learned this exercise, began using it with his athletes. He even made his own version for knee rehab called the Poliquin step up. This takes the balance out of it. So normally we think of this in knee rehab, but now when I take this out,
Boom.
now we're adding the lower leg to the knee. So this is like our finishing touch.
Yep.
Bringing it all together, ability in that position you need to not have the shins. But now, keep it going.
Yeah, so we just realized this is not just a knee exercise, like he was saying. It's a tremendous, you could call it an isometric. You're strengthening this athletic position by holding that. There's just a lot of ability to unlock in this position. And at first, you use assistance. You help yourself with balance. As you get better, one hand, and then you can try to do this with no hands. I still even need to sometimes keep it there and help myself. You can start to even load it, same side. You know, I can still use my balance, but now I'm putting more weight on that calf and on that quad muscle there.
Yep. And any stairwell works great for this.
Yep.
If you have the question of,
Train up to 20 reps.
oh, I struggle with my balance on the Peter step up. Great, you're probably a human. Like this, so one you can assist yourself. That's different than just balancing. So see, I can actually reduce the load. If you can adjust the height. So you see gyms have bumper plates. There's various ways. This doesn't do anything that you can't do at home or any gym or stairwell. It just makes it user-friendly. So you can start as low as you need, and I'm trying to hold that position. Now you could go from 2 hands assisting yourself. You could then go where like just 1 hand is assisting. You could then go as Fernando was showing. It's like he's really just using it to balance. And then yeah, you could have fun with trying to balance it. So I like to do it trying to balance. But yes, if I'm flopping around, that's okay. That's, to me, this is part of the process, is trying to be able to do it. So I'm actually, just from talking to you right now and doing this, I'm burning up through here. And even through here, which is where the majority of my shin pain was all through here. Not even in the front or the side, right there.
I had it right here.
So here I am with a mere 4 inches body weight. I can even feel that muscle by the knee working. So this is I think, Charles Poliquin called this the $1 million knee exercise because he literally watched the difference it made for athletes who then made millions or more millions of dollars from that simple exercise. And even from holding these positions, working on it, I'm burning here and here.
Yep.
And boy, how many sports could use more protection and ability in this position for the knee? So what an awesome exercise. Any last words on this video?
Just gonna say again, to kind of recap, is that the idea is from the ground up, right? We're starting really with the big toe on the sled.
Yep.
Working up the Achilles, the soleus, the seated calf muscle. And then you're working up to the outer upper calf.
That's a great point.
And then we're working even now into the knee, okay? Which it's tying it all in together into that whole athletic position. And you could even go back now to the sled at a faster speed, right? At a more weight. So again, and then we're protecting it all and balancing it all with the opposite side, because why not? Whatever study you want to say, it's like, why not train it? It takes a few minutes, 5 minutes. So with this sort of formula, you're going to increase the strength and ability of your lower leg. And it worked for us, and so we want to share that with you. And now we can run and jump with intent. I don't have to fear my approach in my jumps. I can just jump as hard as I want, as hard as my lower legs allow me to absorb. And now I'm jumping higher and I'm adapting to that. So
yeah, so this is a formula. This is not a medical approach. This is an ability approach. Shin splints, if your shin splints are from someone whacking you on the shins, this routine is not for you. If it's not from that, it's from gravity. That's where your shin splints are coming from, gravity somehow. So building ability from the ground up. A cool side effect, like we were trying to get out of pain, what a side effect to be able to jump higher, run faster. Our bodies are easier to move. And I think even if you don't have shin splints, we do these exercises. We haven't had them for many years. We do these exercises as part of our routine. As an ability formula.
Yeah. It's one of my posts. This is pretty much, there's a couple additions, other things in a different video, we'll go over that, but my post-workout or game workout routine is mostly this.
Yeah, like after he plays basketball, he'll go through this routine as like maintenance. My post-basketball routine is like just chilling out. And then, but through my week, I do these exercises, so I have these abilities. So hopefully this helps someone out there have less pain, more ability, less fear, confusion the rest of your life, more ability to help other people. That's our job. Let us know how we did. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.